So we all know that he's a champion for startups. He's constituted the National Startup Advisory Committee, of which 3 of us from TiE are members of it, Rajan, Sanjeev, and myself. But I should tell you that it was important for him to be here because he made a comment some months ago about startups. All of you read those comments. We took those comments seriously at TiE and we deliberated on them and we said, okay, so we will change our direction also. This is the first TiE conference in 25 years whose sole focus is Deeptech. And this today is the biggest Deeptech only conference in India. And because his remark is the one that caused it, we wanted him to come. It was not easy. When we went to invite him, you know the number of trade deals he's negotiating, including the US. And he was in Brussels. His staff was not keen. They thought he had too much on his plate, but he agreed. And even till this morning, we were wondering whether he'll make it. But he took an early flight, he's made the effort, and he's here. Please give him a big hand. So may I invite you, sir, for your comments.
Thank you very much. Truly delighted to be amongst such a distinguished gathering on Internet Day. I don't know if you realize, the first e-message was sent on this date, many, many years ago. And of course, you reminded me about those comments. They were not planned. I was just sitting on the dais at an event in Bharat Mandapam when the startup Mahakumbh was taking place. And I just received a WhatsApp message while I was sitting there. That was that screenshot which we displayed over there. Therefore, today I took my phones and gave it away. Kahin aur koi message aaye aur koi nayi controversy shuru ho jaye. And I asked Prashant Prakash whether, I've just received this message, is it true? He said, yeah, it's pretty true. I said, shall I speak about it? He said, you must speak about it. And I'm glad I did. Because while soon after my comments, for a few hours it seemed like as if there was a flurry of action and attack on me, I realized finally that it had actually created a wake-up call for all of us to recognize the importance of this subject and do something about it. And then, of course, I also got this attack verified by my office. It so turned out that other than Mohandas, who genuinely felt I shouldn't have said it, probably the Zepto guy who was balanced in his messaging, everybody else who attacked me were either perpetual haters of the Modi government, people who perpetually attacked us for everything we've done, irrespective of its good impact, its international impact, irrespective. And there are a few handles, there are a few people in social media who have nothing better than to attack Prime Minister Modi and his government. And when I did that analysis, I actually felt redeemed. That I'm glad I raised this issue and brought it to the fore. And then you won't believe it, friends. Wherever I went, I'm on a flight 2 or 3 youngsters will come up and talk to me that we really liked what you said, we are inspired. I went to any program, I would find youngsters with whom those words resonated. And therefore, I'm personally very grateful to you and to the entire TiE team, sir, for having taken this subject to heart, for having raised the young men and women's aspirations to connect with Deeptech. And I have no doubt in my mind that this will be truly a forerunner to India's Deeptech ascent. Congratulations to TiE. Come to think of it, when we talk about, let's say, the internet also, look at the transformational journey that India has had. When we came into government in 2014, we had about 250 million internet users or thereabouts. I don't think digital connectivity had reached the length and breadth of the country at that point of time. I remember when Prime Minister launched Digital India, and it's now almost 10 and a half, 11 years. People were not able to really understand the deep thinking that went into the Digital India program. Because it was a part of a number of initiatives that he had in mind, that he was going to take up for the benefit of the country and its growth. Whether it was the Jan Dhan accounts, which took financial inclusion and banking to millions and millions of people who had always remained unbanked. Whether it was the national identity which we all got through Aadhaar. Whether it was his vision to eliminate corruption by giving money to the deserving, to the beneficiaries directly into their bank account, which could not have been possible. The direct benefit transfer could not have been possible without mobile penetration at the level we have today. And friends, I think at the core of the last 11 and a half years journey of growth, journey to become the 4th largest economy in the world, another 2 years to become the 3rd largest economy, overtaking Germany also, the journey to become a $4 trillion economy, well on path to achieve the mission of a $30 trillion, $32 trillion economy by 2047. The effort to eliminate corruption in the country, the effort to make sure benefits reach the intended beneficiary in time, in real time. At the foundation of all of these programs, the program by which we have taken 250 million people out of poverty, the program to give nearly 80 million farmer families, and at one point of time was over 100 million, free support as an honorarium for their regular requirements through the PM Kisan Yojana. Whether it's the effort through Mudra Yojana to make sure everybody gets adequate funding for whatever be their needs, or the Swanidhi Yojana for the hawkers and people who have their daily livelihood in very humble background. All of these rest on the power of technology, power of mobile penetration, the power of Digital India. And therefore this increase from 250 million internet users or connected individuals. Today India proudly has 1 billion internet users. And the journey of Deeptech has a very holistic connotation. It's not just artificial intelligence. Whether it's quantum computing, whether it's machine learning, whether it's our foray into defense and space tech, the semiconductor mission, our effort to inculcate the spirit of inquisitiveness, the spirit of inquiry, innovation, whether it's our effort to bring technology into India's DNA through strengthening of our intellectual property ecosystem. All of these collectively are a part of the deep tech ecosystem that the government is supporting, that well-meaning individuals and organizations are investing not only in terms of financial investment, but also in terms of effort to promote in the country. And if one was to do a Google search, you would find that there's a deep resonance of the word deep tech in the young man or woman today, across the country. I think we've been able to nudge the system in the right direction. So what were the outcomes? A, we've suddenly realized the power of technology. If you look at the huge valuations that technology companies are receiving today, worldwide, we will understand the power of our ability to make India a great nation. It will increase manifold as we engage with modern technologies, new age technologies. On the government's part, our Startup Fund of Funds, second edition, we are hoping to dedicate almost entirely for deep tech investments, particularly early stage investments, before the product matures, the risk capital, so that our friends from the deep tech ecosystem don't land up selling a large part of their equity at very early stage to funds or venture capitalists or foreign funds, and they are able to maintain some of, or at least a large part of their ownership for future rounds and for maturing their technologies going forward. We also recognize today that innovation is important, and 1 lakh crore, that's about $12 billion Anusandhan Fund, research grant / long tenor, low cost loan, which will be seeded by the government up to 1 lakh crores, is sought to be given for promoting innovation in the country. And friends, mind you, when we talk about giving $12 billion, it's equivalent to about $100 billion worth of research being done in Europe or America. Our costs being much lower, our talent being more affordable. I would expect this 1 lakh crore, again supplemented by some private sector financing also, will translate into a significant thrust to support innovation, to support new ideas. And as the Honorable Prime Minister in his Independence Day speech had said, giving a clarion call to the nation, India must reduce its dependence on foreign technologies, foreign weapons, foreign energy sources or foreign critical technologies. The spirit of Swadeshi is not just about making in India or designing or developing in India or serving from India. It's very, very important for our long-term growth, for our sovereignty. And this decade has in fact given us several wake-up calls, starting from COVID pandemic, about how important it is to have resilient supply chains, to have your own technologies, control over your technologies, control over essential supplies in critical areas, how important it is to decouple in certain sectors and certain very important subjects from over-dependence on certain geographies. And therefore, India today has resolved as a nation to move away from just being the back office of the world or the software provider of the world to become a global engine of innovation. And I think today's Deeptech moment that we are all celebrating through this TiE conference is all about taking our digital leadership to technological sovereignty. It resonates perfectly with the need of the hour, and I am very, very confident that our homegrown deep tech startups, some of whom are already listed in amongst the top technological innovations, many of our Indians who have done exceedingly well internationally in the world of deep tech will also be ready and willing to engage with India, will also be willing to work with some of you, support those of you who have new ideas. And I can assure you through my international travels and international engagements, the world is looking up on you. The world has high expectations from each one of you. The world is convinced that the capital of talent and skill is in India today. They see the 15 lakh engineers coming out of college every year. They see the 24 lakh overall STEM graduates, highest number of STEM graduates that any country in the world produces, coming out of India today. They are betting big on India. The ball is in our court to perform. TiE, for example, you just mentioned, has branches and setups all over the world. You started in California, if I'm not mistaken. And California is full of Indians. In fact, during one of my visits, I don't remember when, one of my visits to California, I had a person with me who was an IIT engineer and had also done his management from one of the top B schools in the world. So we were going to a program and he told me, don't introduce me as an MBA. Please introduce me that I've done my engineering from IIT, I think it was Madras or Mumbai, I don't recollect. I think it was IIT Madras. Please introduce me that I am an engineer from IIT Madras. And this I'm not talking now, this is at least 4 or 5 years ago, probably pre-COVID. That is the value that Indian talent has in the world today. You go to any part of the world, and I'm constantly engaged with people from this field across the world. We had a number of meetings in Singapore earlier this month. We had a lot of meetings on this subject in Berlin 4 days ago. across the world, people are looking up to you. And as they say, a ship is safe in the harbor. That's why you call it a safe harbor. But that's not what it's meant to be. Ships are not meant to be